and welcome to a new season of the Coach McVay Show, presented by Microsoft Surface with DeMarco Farr, the head coach of your Los Angeles Rams. Sean McVay, I am JB Long. It is the Atlanta Falcons week 2 at SoFi Stadium, but first a new season and some new digs for us.
That's right.
How do you like the new surroundings?
It's great. You know, at least I don't have to get mic'd up, so I can just talk into this, so I'll take it. It looks good.
All right, it's good to be back here at Cal Lutheran in Thousand Oaks. We will recap the loss of the Buffalo Bills, also dig into the Atlanta Falcons. But Sean, let me start by saying not until the outset of your year 6 were your Rams ever so much as one game below 500. That's quite an accomplishment.
Well, thanks for pointing that out now. You know, I appreciate that. No.
Better than week 1, year 1.
That is true. It is, you know what? I think with every new year comes new experiences. And, you know, I'm excited about the opportunity for this team to respond right away. You know, that was definitely a humbling night, a humbling experience for us. But, you know, you look around the league and you just realize how challenging week in and week out it can be. Referenced by, you know, if you think every year's not a new year, when 3 of the final 4 teams all lose an opening weekend, both the teams that were the 1 seeds in the AFC and the NFC lose an opening weekend, you know, you got to be able to handle that. And you know that humility is only a day away in this league. And I'm looking forward to the opportunity to respond with this group this week.
I think you've used that word humbled.
Yeah.
More than I can count in the last couple of days. What does that mean for a professional football team? How does that benefit a professional football team?
When you have the right mindset and mentality, the right kinds of people, like on the teams that you were a big part of, DeMarco, it's a great challenge, and it can be a blessing in disguise when it's handled the right way. You know, adversity is inevitable. At some point in a season, especially when you play 17 games. For us, you know, it happened in week 1. You don't want to take any credit away from the Bills. They did a great job, but I do believe in my heart of hearts that we're capable of coaching better, number one, and then giving clarity to the players so that they can go execute better. And like anything else, man, excited about the opportunity to respond. We're not going to look back. We're going to just be totally and completely present, stack blocks so that hopefully we play the right way on Sunday in front of our fans.
Any value to be confronted sooner rather than later with just how far away the Rams were from their best football in week 1 against a very good opponent?
I think so. I think, you know, what you got to do is you got to say, hey, this is what happened. How do we respond the right way? How do we look inward? How do we have a solution-oriented mindset and mentality as we move forward? And then, you know, let's attack it one day at a time. And so, you know, I'm not interested in really looking back. You know, we'll talk about the game and things like that. But in our mind as coaches and players, we've kind of put this game to bed. We're moving forward, you know, with the anticipation that you want to continue to get better as the season progresses. And it's as big a deal as we allow it to be, and we can't let the Bills beat us twice.
I said right after the game, I said that I would love to see those guys again, and there's only one way to do that. You know what I'm saying? So let's not get into that. But you like ball, he likes ball, we all like ball. Josh Allen was pretty damn good that day. You have to give him credit.
Yeah, he's a great competitor. I thought he saw the field well. He made the most of his plays. I thought they did a good job of being able to distribute their targets, and then obviously their playmakers made their plays. But again, like we said, you know, we're looking forward to moving forward.
Was pass protection as much of one of the leading issues as it looked like in real time? And how much more so because they did it with 4 in their rush?
Yeah, it was challenging. You know, they played a lot of vision zone, which wasn't too far from what we thought we would get, JB, but they did a good job of being able to, you know, create pressure with a 4-man rush. And when you can do that and then you're able to slow the ability to run the football, they were able to play the game on their terms. And I think there's a lot of instances where, you know, I could have done a better job of getting us into the right spots. We could have executed a little bit better. And it wasn't always one thing. You know, there were some times we got a little bit loose in protection. And then when we did hold up in protection, maybe we weren't seeing something or we weren't distributing the field quite the way that we want. And so I think the best part about it is that everybody knows where their role falls within the framework of how do we improve, coaches and players alike. That's the mindset and mentality that everybody's taken in our building, and that's where you feel like you can move forward the right ways when everybody has that accountability and ownership.
I think that's the thing I circled, 7 sacks. And this is fun when you're talking about top 100, where Aaron fits, where Jalen fits. That's all fun for July, August. Yeah. But the most important thing is you got to protect your quarterback.
Yep.
Yeah, you can't have another 7 spot on your record. That's got to improve.
It does. Yeah. And I believe that it will. And I think in a lot of instances, it's not just one thing. But certainly, you know, I take that stuff to heart because I want to do a better job of protecting not only Matthew, but really just all of our players in terms of putting them in spots where we feel like we can dictate the terms offensively. And we weren't able to do that. And I think it starts with me. And And again, you got to be able to protect the quarterback, and we can't take negative plays, whether that be sacks, some of the pre-snap penalties, some of the procedural things, even on that first drive where we've got some continuity going in on the third down. We snapped the ball early. So there's a lot of different things that are very correctable that, like I said, we're looking forward to attacking with a solution-oriented mindset and mentality, and that's all we can do.
Unfortunately, in week 2, it looks like you're going to have to do it with some different personnel. You said that Brian Allen had a knee procedure. How'd that go? What's the prognosis?
It went well. It's one of those deals you never want to lose your starting center after week 1, but had that thing cleaned up. All by all accounts, everything went really well, and we'll get him back sooner than later. Okay. Coleman Shelton will slide into the starting center position. Tremaine Ankrum will then be able to play right guard for us, and then hopefully we'll see how Joe Noteboom comes out of this. He's making good progress, and the expectation is that he'll be ready to go.
I'm geek for Ankrum. Yeah, short tackle with long arms. That's a great guard. If you can hold that spot, yeah.
He did a great job. He's gotten a lot better to Marco. I've been really encouraged with him, very confident in his ability to be able to step in and play really good football for us. He's had a good look in his eye all throughout training camp, and I think this is an opportunity that he's ready for based on the way that he's prepared and put himself in this position, and I think he's going to do a great job for us.
When I think back to last year when Coleman was pressed into duty, Jacksonville, Arizona come to mind. Those actually produced some of the better running results of the season. Do you think he gives you an added element there or boost in that regard?
I think he's a really good player, JB. I don't know if it's an added element, but I do know that this is a guy that I think is capable of starting at any of the 3 interior spots. He's got great poise. He's got great competitiveness, toughness, great understanding of the intent of what we're trying to really get done. And I think he and Matthew's rapport was on display in the games that he did play center. I thought he played pretty well against Buffalo. I thought he competed well. He's a tough guy, and you certainly want to be able to have he and Brian both in there. But if not, feel very confident in his ability to be able to assert himself in what is a position that you're innately thrust into the leadership spot because of the communication that the center spot requires.
The run game, a lot of talk about the run game, and I was excited for Darryl getting the start because I think the guy can play,
yes.
Right? But I thought you were close on a few of those run calls. If you have some, I guess, better backside blocking, some of those might pop out the front door.
Some of them might, but again, that's where you see the run game takes all 11, and almost isn't quite good enough. We've got to be more consistent. We've got to have a little bit more versatility in terms of the things that we're doing, but the overall execution, and then again, some of the spots and the situations that we can put our guys in, all of those things can be improved upon, but we have to be able to run the football more efficiently. And, for whatever reason, we didn't do a good enough job of that. And then, based on once you get about 40 plays into that game, you're kind of really out of it into more of a 2-minute mode and mindset and mentality. And so, hopefully we'll get an opportunity to be able to showcase a little bit more versatility in the different things that we can present offensively, whether it be personnel groupings or different things on some of those early downs.
Yeah, speaking of that versatility in personnel, be it the snap counts on Thursday, your follow-up comments Friday, it seems like you're asking more of Cam Akers. What does he need to show you, and how soon can he do it to be back in the fold?
Yeah, he's gonna get an opportunity to do it this week, JB. And really it's about, it's not just one guy, like I said. I know what Cam's capable of, but I know what we're capable of as an offense as a whole. And this isn't about one individual. This is really about coaches and players competing and performing to the best of their abilities. And I think better results will come if we just take it a day at a time. But again, there is a lot of football left to be played, but the sense of urgency and the intent and the purpose behind every single day has got to be great for us.
I wanted to see Kyron Williams. Yeah, I really did.
Me too.
That's just, I know you did.
It's a bummer.
Yeah.
It's just such an unfortunate thing where, he's had 2 kind of freak accidents that have led to him not being available. But in the short amount of time that he's been with us, he's been everything that we had hoped. I was hoping to be able to utilize his skill set, but I do believe that time will come. And he's a mentally tough, he's a resilient guy, and he's going to respond the right way.
In terms of corresponding moves and fortifying your roster again, I think it leaves you with Bobby Evans and A.J. Jackson as backups on the line. Jake Funk can obviously help out in the backfield, but where have the Rams been this weekend in terms of seeking replacements for some of those injured players?
I think the first thing you do is you always look in-house, and as a result of some of the things, you're going to put Kyron Williams on IR, so that'll free up a spot. With Brian, don't expect that to be something that'll be quite that long term where you want to eliminate his ability to be available for 4 weeks. But right now we're in the early processes and parts of kind of getting the game plan together from a personnel standpoint, both offensively and defensively, with how we want to match up with the Falcons. And then the moves that we make as a result of that will dictate and determine how we come up with our 48, or who do we end up bringing up to the 53, and do we flex guys from the practice squad, or do we try to sign guys externally?
You know, you mentioned Alaric Jackson. I've been talking about him for a while. I like this dude.
Yeah.
I even put in training camp, how do you get him in the starting lineup? I know it's not possible right now, but if he gets some reps, I mean, that is just a big, strong dude. Like, you're afraid to ride in an elevator with him.
Yeah.
That's the type of O-lineman you want. Yeah.
That's pretty good. He's done a good job. You know, he's a guy that I think has position flex, can play inside or outside. You saw in the Minnesota game last year, did a great job of stepping in and playing at really at a high level at left tackle position in a win that we had to have. He's continued to really progress and grow. He's had an intentional approach. I think Kevin Carberry and Nick Jones do a great job of really developing those guys up front. But AJ is a guy that, you know, if for whatever reason Noteboom isn't available, or if there's different ways that we want to try to be able to utilize him, that's something that is definitely at the forefront of our minds.
The door opened, he stepped in, I just moved to the back.
Yeah,
just give him space. Yeah.
Any update on Van Jefferson's timeline that you're able to share?
Still really just taking it week to week with him. Van is a guy that we love. He brings a lot of different things to our offense, but we'll take that a day at a time with him as well.
And then staying at the receiver position, I think a lot of Rams fans still trying to wrap their mind around Allen Robinson's first game in Horns and why that didn't look the way that I know we all thought it was going to.
Yeah, I think in a lot of instances, I got to do a better job of getting him involved, but we weren't really able to do a lot of things that we had the intention of doing offensively. For whatever reason I get into right now is going to be an excuse. But bottom line is I got to do better for him, and then we've got to do a better job of presenting an offense that has some more versatility and some more things that people have to defend by staying efficient on early downs. And so that's something that we're very committed to. We've been intentional about trying to really put our heads together as a coaching staff and have that unfold against the Falcons on Sunday.
I thought there was a slant back there that was going to him, but they did a good job taking it away.
They did, yeah. On one of those earlier third downs, and you're exactly right. But there were some other plays that we had the intention of trying to be able to get it to him. It didn't quite work out that way, but he's got to be a guy that's got to be more involved, and we've got to be better about that. And like I said, it starts with me.
As you continue to talk about kind of flexibility, versatility, personnel packages, first time I've had a chance to talk to you since you roll with only 2 tight ends to begin the year. Tyler Higbee understandably takes up a lot of those reps. But you do go with Bryson Hopkins as his backup, as the lone 2.
Sure.
How has he grown this summer? What more does he need to do to continue to earn opportunities in your offense?
He's grown a lot, JB, and he's a guy that, he's got a lot of things that he can present in the pass game. I think there's more to be had. I mean, you look at the block that he made at the point of attack last year on 4th and 1. That's a big-time block on Hubbard, and so his ability, he made a key block on one of the screens that came out big for Cooper the other night, did a great job of being able to redirect in space on Taron Johnson, who's a really good player for them, talking about the Bills game. But it's just that steady progress. Thomas has really done a great job of kind of wrapping his arms around him, helping him continue to become a complete player. But we trust Tyler a lot, but I do think there's some opportunities to get Bryson more involved, without a doubt.
Another game, another great game by Cooper Kupp. That touchdown, the little toe tap.
Yeah.
Come on, how many guys in the world can do that?
Not many.
Yeah.
That's why he's a special player. He did a great job, and we've got to continue to keep him involved, but also spread some of those targets around and get other guys involved and accentuate their skill sets. But you talk about a competitor, a guy that embodies all the things that we want to really stand for, and that was certainly on display last week.
But post-game, it's like he never played.
Yeah.
Like how fast does a guy snap and clear? It's unbelievable.
Yeah, he's an impressive guy, just in terms of the way that he handles everything, DeMarco, and whether it be as a competitor, as a human being. He's a special guy. I feel really fortunate to be able to work with Cooper Kupp.
Said some of the defensive standouts, and I bet if I had told you pregame that you were going to get 4 takeaways, you would have liked your chances in week 1, even against a good Buffalo team. Yes. Troy Hill certainly looked like he was glad to be back in Horns.
He did a great job. Had a couple great, concept triggers and understanding, made a couple plays on the ball, and so he's an instinctual guy. You could see even in some of those close quarters, did a good job sticking his face in there, and so he made his plays. I thought Taylor Rapp was active. I thought Nick Scott was really active. And it was good to be able to see that.
Nick Scott will run right through you.
He's tough, man.
Absolutely.
I think, just him as a competitor, his confidence, the progression and the growth and development that we've seen from him over the last couple of years, can't help but love that guy. And, similar to what we were saying about Cooper Kupp, this is another guy that embodies a lot of the things that good football teams have, with just that character, that toughness, that competitiveness, and love Nick Scott.
I slowed it down. I mean, he is accelerating to impact, where most guys are kind of, where do I put my head? He's going through you.
Oh, he's fearless.
Yeah.
He has no flinch, no fear. Does a great job, too, of being able to keep his head out of those tackles. But whether it's coming from the post, whether it's being an underneath defender, his range, his ball skills, I mean, he can do it all as a safety. And I thought the toughness and the competes was really on display for him last week.
It's a good example not to get too caught up in one moment, one play, right? Because everyone's going to remember the stiff arm, but he made some impactful
I thought that
plays.
was a great, you know what, though? I thought that was a great play by two great competitors.
Yeah,
I mean, you could see, man, I mean, he's coming inside out on an outstanding athlete. He ends up getting the stiff arm, but he was able to get a great wrap tackle right there. I mean, I thought, that there was a lot made of that, but I thought that was two great players making a competitive play against one another.
Going into the half, Matt Gay booms 157 yards, but I don't think that does justice to the stroke that he put on that kick. I mean, does he earn some more range even in your mind in terms of what you map out?
The way that he was hitting it in pregame, you felt good about that. Certainly you don't want to have to take, any of those negatives that we did on that drive, but when you have that, that's a real weapon. And you want to see him kicking a lot more extra points than those field goal attempts, but to be able to have that operation, the snap, hold, and kick, even just looking at some of these games this past weekend, you really appreciate, what Orzic, what Riley, and then what ultimately Matt did in the opportunities that they did have, which was far too few for the expectations that we have offensively.
You stole my thunder. I'm like, it's nice to have 57 in the bag, but I don't want to use it.
I agree. I'm right there with you, Marco. Right there with you.
Hey, before we flip to the Falcons and look ahead to week 2, first chance we've had a chance to speak with you since the contract extension, not only for you, but for Les Snead. And I know it was important for you to wait to address that until Les was part of it. Funny that it happens on game week, but nonetheless, here we are, and let's take kind of a long-term lens. How glad are you to be here in this moment pairing with Les for the indefinite future?
I'm really glad. It's been, going into year 6, you feel really fortunate. Our partnership has only gotten stronger. We had an immediate rapport even when I remember interviewing here, which seems like an eternity ago, but that was something that, when you talk to Mr. Kroenke, you talk to Kevin, you talk to Tony, those guys, you felt confident it was going to get done. You have more of an understanding about these things do take time, but to have that reflected in the partnership that we have and how we want to be able to attack every single day. Glad that that's behind us. Feel very blessed and fortunate to be here for the long haul. But again, we got a job to do, and I feel like I got to do better, and that's where my sole focus and concentration is being better for these players, for these coaches, and then ultimately having that come to life on Sunday against the Falcons with our next stop that we're guaranteed.
Everybody likes money, but what else would you rather be doing?
I wouldn't rather be doing anything else, and here's the thing that I would say is cool. You don't take for granted what a blessing it is to be able to do this, and what an amazing thing. But you do this for the people. You do this as a competitor, and regardless of the opportunities you're afforded, you want to go back to work because of that experience that we had last week, but also because of what these players and these coaches deserve, and that's what's driving me every single day to be better.
Do you see more of the Atlanta Falcons than you might have had you been playing on Sunday this past weekend?
Yeah, you know what you did. It's kind of like what we were talking about before we jumped on here. It's week 2. They've done a good job of being able to kind of alter and adjust based on their personnel this year. The New Orleans game is certainly a great representative, example of what we anticipate this coming week. But every single week is a new week, and so you do get a jump, but also it's still early where you don't have quite the accumulation of inventory. And last year, there is some carryover, but you got to be careful of putting too much weight in it. And so you'll look at it, but we got to do a great job of our guys first and foremost, then being able to attack their personnel and their scheme after that. And so you did get a little bit of a jump, but our focus is on, kind of those things in that order. But it's going to be a great challenge. They did a great job. It was a great competitive game, and I got tremendous respect for Arthur Smith, Dean Pease, and their defensive personnel for sure. Really, their personnel as a whole.
1 point loss to New Orleans, right? Yeah. Close.
Let it get away from them in the fourth.
Yeah, they had controlled the game, and when you really look at it, it was a great competitive back and forth NFL high caliber game that two teams, and it really could have gone either way. Went down to the wire for sure.
Mariota did a pretty good job protecting the ball, and another mobile quarterback coming up.
Yeah. They did a great job of being able to kind of put him in the right spots. I think then when you look at it, Cordero Patterson continues to make his presence felt for them offensively. Thought they did a good job of being able to get a bunch of different people involved. And then defensively, Coach Pease does a great job of trying to be able to keep you off balance with a bunch of different coverages, personnel groupings, things of that nature.
How close an eye did you keep on that game in Minneapolis between KOC and Matt LaFleur?
Yeah, it was fun to watch, and you don't know who you're really rooting for, but it was great to be able to see, Kevin and Wes and Chris O'Hara and those guys do a great job getting their opening win. You love Matt LaFleur and Joe Barry and really, care about those guys. But I had fun being a fan yesterday because you're always able to learn and see, okay, does that fit something that we can do?
Sure.
And then also what it does is it rejuvenates you in a way because you realize, man, this is such a challenging week where we talked about that humility, but every single week you got to show up, you got to play well in that 3.5 hour window that you're allotted, and can't wait for what's next, but just being there one day at a time.
What is it, JB? You don't know who to root for? You'll find out in December.
Yeah.
Right.
Isn't that the truth?
Absolutely.
Fair enough. Well, I'm glad you had a little bit of time and space this weekend. Thank you for sitting down with us here in our new digs. Looking forward to another season with you, Sean.
Appreciate it, guys.
All right,
hopefully after better results and a little bit more cheerful mood for me.
No doubt.
Next Monday, we'll tee it up. DeMarco Farr, Sean McVay, I'm JB Long. Thank you for being with us for the Coach McVay Show season debut presented by Microsoft Surface. Hope to see you Sunday at SoFi.